Hello, welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And you are listening to GoingBoldMedia.com. That's our website where all the wonderful hosts and guests are on. And so you want to make sure you guys check that out because we have our experts on there. We have our elites on there, which we are going to talk to one today. And we are so excited to be able to do that. So those of you that haven't heard of us before, this show is called Link to Expert Business Showcase. I am Cece Schatz. I'm the Joanne of Relationship Building, and I have my wonderful friend here with me, Joanne Weiland. Joanne, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Joanne Weiland, Weiland when you can fly. And I love this show because of the fact that we get to showcase what people have done. And not just because they've done something incredible, but because they can usually help you either as a consultant or a coach or somebody that can actually help you do what they've already done, because that way you can stay focused on what you do best and you can hire them to do the rest. So that's what I love about this show. And that's one of the reasons I created Link to Experts. So you can't always be an expert. You can't always know an expert, but you can always hire an expert. So Cece, I
Absolutely.
love that we have this show to let the world know what these experts can do.
Absolutely. So those of you, Joanne is actually the Chief Connections Officer, and she is the founder of linktoexpert.com. So check that out. All of the experts that we see on our shows are right there on linktoexpert.com. And then, of course, we have our elites, and we've got one of our very special guests here today. So Joanne, tell us a little bit about our guest that's coming on today.
Sure. He actually lives where I grew up, so I'm really excited to have Marc on. Marc Del Priore. Priore. So if you could welcome with me to Marc, and I'm so excited because of the fact that he has something that I think we all need to learn about. So welcome, Marc.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you guys?
Terrific.
Yeah, we're terrific. And I'm so excited to have you on the show because you know what, we're talking about lead generation. And a lot of people don't know what that is, the do's and don'ts. And I honestly don't know a lot about lead generation. So why don't you share with us a little bit about number one, why you got into doing this type of work? And I know that you have a business, and I want to make sure that we share this with everyone. You had a business called TradeMarc Global, which actually you took that from 0 to 5 million in 3 years. So this guy knows what he's talking about. And it ranked, if you go rankinc.com, 5,000 fastest growing companies in America in 2022. So absolutely, you are an expert in your field. And so if we want to poo-poo lead generation, we need to think twice, because I think that if you have brought a company from 0 to 5 million in 3 years, there's something we don't know that we better learn today. And so let's talk a little bit about that.
And don't forget, that was just last year. We're not talking like, back in the 90s or whatever, where things were different. This is leading edge information that Marc's going to be sharing with us, because how many people do you know that could do that? A lot of people can't even get to their first million, and he got to 5 million in 3 years. So, Marc, we really are interested in how you do it. And I have a feeling a lot of it is through connections, but that's just because I'm a connector. So I'm curious.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that warm intro. I appreciate it. Where do I start? Lead generation. First, we are a lead generation company. That's how, and we sell thousands and thousands of leads to, hundreds of companies throughout the country. So, when I first started TradeMarc, it was like a bootstrap side hustle. And I was trying to figure out, do I want to do this full time? Can I make enough money? And I was working in corporate America a little bit. I tried it out for a couple of years. And before I knew it, TradeMarc became more income than my corporate American job. So I left corporate and then focused on it full time. And so that was the history with that. But lead generation, there's so many facets of that term. So we're going to dive into that a little bit and find out the pros, the cons, and some of the things that I've seen my clients struggle with over the years, and some of the things that I feel like that are going to help you excel and kind of expedite what you want to do, rather than trying to figure it out yourself over the course of several months or even a couple of years. So.
Yeah, that's
Good.
great. That's great. Often we start a business, right? Because we have maybe our specialty or whatever it is that we're good at, but we're not good at everything. And so we need to understand that. And I know you started another business here. It's called TM Revive. So we want to make sure everyone knows about that. TM Revive. And so, so we need to sometimes let go of some of the things that we don't know how to do and get the experts like yourself. And so I'm not that familiar with leads, and I will be. I mean, I'm so stupid, really. I tell you, I'll be honest with you. A lot of my friends will say, "Yeah, she is." But anyhow, when I first started, we started doing the emailing, right? We do the emailing. I never kept track of emails. Email. I didn't see the value of it. I thought, why should I keep people's emails and do all of this kind of stuff? Now I know that that's part of a marketing thing that you want to, be able to do newsletters and do different things like that. But when I first started, I had not a clue
Right.
on that. So lead generation, I think, let's talk a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, so absolutely. So at a really base level, lead generation, from the world that I come from, is finding somebody like that actually raised their hand. In other words, they came to your website, went on your website, they read the information, and they said, "This is interesting." So they filled out your contact us form, and then you're able to call them and say, "Hey, I see that you went to our website, you filled out our form. What questions do you have, and how can I help you?" So that's the simplest form, the basic level of lead generation. It's somebody who raises their hand, who reaches out to you, and is contacting you because they're interested to get your services and more information. So when it comes to the broader spectrum, there's a lot of different ways to generate leads. Some people say, well, how do you get that person to come to your website, right? That's the hardest part. Like, I have a website and I know how to get that set up, and that's easy. There's so many web designers and they do a great job and they get me the website. But how do I get people to actually visit my website? That's the tricky part. And there's so many facets, like I was alluding to before. One is, you just said, email, right? So you could actually email a bunch of people that are your target market and put your website there, right? And then somebody can go to your website because they received an email from you that says, "Hey, are you looking for this type of service or et cetera? If so, check out our website." That's a pretty basic, simple form. So it kind of builds from that. There's also what's called SEO, which I'm sure a lot of people heard about, which is search engine optimization. So there's a funny story with search engine optimization. I first started as a young entrepreneur with my father's construction company back in 2002, 2003. And he's like, "We need a website," because this is when things are getting big, right? "And we need marketing, we need sales." So I said, "Oh," he's like, "Figure it out." He's like, "You're the young guy, you just got out of college." And I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm on it." So the first thing I did was talk to some friends and family who knew it. And luckily enough, I had a mother-in-law who specialized in jewelry business, and she had created a website. I think back then it was called Yahoo Site Builder, if I'm not mistaken. And she created a website, and she had hers ranking on the top when people typed in jewelry, wherever. And I was like, "How'd you do that?" And she showed me. And then I went home and I worked on it for like a month, and just trial and error. And I got our website ranking to the top of Google for a painting contractor in New Jersey, all by myself. This is when Google was like not really, where the way they are today. So they were still figuring out their algorithms, and they didn't know how to keep track. And there were little loopholes, and stuff like that. So me, not even a professional SEO guy, got it ranking. So SEO is another way where you can rank yourself on the top of Google, but now it's got super complicated. You definitely need a professional for that. What else? There's Facebook ads, there's Instagram ads. So we call that social media ads, right? You can also do advertising on Google. And these are all the different types of ways to get traffic coming to you. But at the end of the day, there's the lead generation company that I sold, TradeMarc. We sold leads very different than most people. We wouldn't say, "Hey, pay us X amount for the month, and then we'll get you leads. We said, don't pay us anything. We're going to generate leads for you and only pay us when you get a qualified lead. So people were like, well, I like that idea. So I said, yeah. So that's how we would do it. So they were in the driver's seat. They were in control. They didn't have to pay if we sent them a lead. Somebody clicked on the ad, but they didn't get a lead. We were insulating them from risk. So it's called performance marketing, and pay-per lead model. And that's kind of what we were doing. It's a niche industry, but it's very lucrative for advertisers if they're trying to save money on their marketing dollars and get a lot of leads. So I'll kind of let you ask you more questions because there's a whole side of the industry which is called affiliate marketing and stuff like that. So let me know what other questions you have. Yeah,
I'd love to know more about the affiliate, but we'll do that after the break. But I love this idea that, what you came up with, because so often a smaller business, they can spend a lot of dollars on marketing and get nothing, And
Correct.
So to go to you and get the lead, and you don't pay for it until it actually generates something for you is a lot more security for the small business. So that's a wonderful concept of doing
Absolutely.
that.
And I believe the foundation is something that Marc, I was doing some snooping to see what some of his thoughts and stuff. And when I read this one, I was like, this is, I think, again, the foundation. Once you have convinced yourself that your world is yours to plan, now the fun begins. Be creative and dream big. Because if you don't believe in yourself, I don't care how many leads you get, if you're not going to follow up on them and work them, I believe, it's not going to work. I'm just being upfront. I feel like people sometimes forget that if they don't believe in themselves, why, when they talk to other people, do they think they're going to believe in them? So if you don't mind, Marc, I'd love to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah, to that point, I'll just give you another story. So, we've had clients who've bought thousands of leads every month, and they're always looking for new leads the next month, and then new leads the next month. And we're like, wait, what happened to the last 1,000 or 2,000 we sold you last month? So sometimes they're looking to get a win right away. And there's a statistic out there that, statistics are kind of fuzzy, but for the most part, you have to reach out to a lead up to like 7 to 10 times, I believe.
I heard 12 recently.
Before you can actually get them either on the phone or at least to convince them that you have something that they may be interested in. That's just the beginning process. So that's the truth. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the time or resources to do the follow-up. They just want to handle the new lead. But we've come up with a way in the pay-per-lead model to help people with that. Pay-per-lead is when somebody has a form they fill out. Now what happens? They fill out the form, you have to call them. Now it's hard to get them on the phone. They don't recognize the number you're calling from. They don't know who you are. They don't want to pick up the phone. So what have we done in our industry? Not just me, but the industry as a whole, which is performance marketing. We've done and took up another level called pay per call. So pay per call means you only pay when you get a qualified call that comes into you, right? So that means somebody has to be live on the phone calling you saying, hi, I saw your advertisement online. Is this ABC company? And are you guys a realtor or whatever the thing is, whatever the service is? Yes, I am. How can I help you? So you have that person live at that moment on the phone versus getting a lead where you have to go call them and try to get them on the phone. So pay-per-call is where we like to really focus on with TM Revive, because that model trumps everything when it comes to getting someone live on the phone instead of having to chase them down.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, because you want to make sure that, you've got real people, right? So
correct.
You could get a bunch of old phone numbers or whatever, and they don't.
That's exactly right.
And there are places out there that do things like that. And so, so it's nice to know that, again, it's all about, number one, the connection, right? And the integrity. And it seems like to me, you've got a tremendous amount of integrity behind you. and the business that you run, both with the one that you just recently sold and then now what you're establishing here. And I know that you're also, combining some consulting work with, the lead generation, which is very important. So again,
Correct.
that's taking it a step further, which is very vital, very important.
Mark, what would you put on like that lead form? I'm a note taker. I'm always taking notes, and I love this. But I just was curious, like if you are, putting out a form, do you then do that through email and through social media and all the things you were talking about earlier, the lead form?
Or paper lead, because it's two different things.
Okay.
So paper call, usually we'll run it through Google. And let's just say what's a hot market for us right now is realtors, right? Real estate, because the market is kind of dying out. So they really need to get more business.
Mm-hmm.
So can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It froze a little bit for a second.
Yeah, but your voice was still strong.
Okay, good. So we with Google and pay per call, we put a headshot up of the realtor, a professional headshot, and then it's connected to their Google reviews. So now people type in realtor near me, their headshot pops up along with their competition, and if that lead decides to call them because they say, wow, they've been in business for 20 years or 10 years or 5 years, and they have 20 5-star reviews, I'm going to call them. So that's just their professional headshot, and it shows their reviews and maybe the services they offer, but it's all part of like your Google My Business profile. When it's a web lead, it gets a little bit, different. Sometimes you have to put content that's what's called call to actions to kind of get people to entice them to want to fill out a form and stuff like that. And that's usually not done through Google. That's maybe Facebook ads or TikTok ads or Instagram, something like that. But what I like to do is treat everybody as if I'm consulting for them first. And I can't even tell you how many people I've spoken to over the years where I've just told them, I'm not going to be a good fit for you to sell you leads. I said, because you have a lot of things going. And I said, I don't think I can generate any more leads because you're already doing this and that and that. I said, but I can consult for you and maybe find out what you're doing wrong with that. Maybe it's the content. You're not writing the right content. Maybe you're not targeting the right people in your ads. Maybe you're sending, the ads out at the wrong time of day, and there's a lot of other things. So I like to consult first to see if I can help you there. And then the lead part comes second, because sometimes people don't always need leads. They just say, hey, I have leads. I just don't know what's going wrong. And I can help them figure that out.
No, that's a really good point, because I think a lot of people also, in my opinion, try different things. And let's just be upfront, sometimes for a week, and then they think it didn't work, or a short period of time, or like you said, that they're targeting the wrong people, or that don't have the right message. There's so many aspects.
There's a lot of differences. And since we've seen thousands of leads and thousands of calls and hundreds of landing pages and thousands of ads over the years, we know pretty much what works, what doesn't work. You don't want to trick somebody with an ad to try to get them on the phone for them to say, I don't really know why I called. I just like the ad,
Right.
You want someone to be really interested in your services. So the ad has to speak to them. Your target marketing, who you're actually targeting, you can do all that on social media. It has to be the right people, the right age group. They have, the right type of situation, like if they own a home, if they're a renter, like all those things matter. So there's a lot of variables that have to go along with it. Like, for example, I had a potential lead last week. They came through. They're in like Southern California, and they needed leads for Medicare Advantage. And they said they wanted to target certain ethnicities. I think it was like, the Asian market, and then like, Spanish, and just in Southern Cal, right? Just those markets, those ethnicities, and just a specific product, Medicare Advantage. So I said, your market went from like the whole country all the way down to like this little ball. So I said, well, let's talk about it. And I said, what are you doing now to market to them? Oh, we do everything. I said, well, what's everything? Direct mail, Facebook, Google, emails. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, do you realize that there's only a certain percentage of the people in that area that you're going to be able to target? And not only that, but a certain percentage of those people are going to be your clients. And then the other people are going to go somewhere else. I'm like, you guys may have saturated your area already. You don't even realize it. So he goes, well, what do we do? So then I started consulting for them for free on the phone. And I said, I'm going to give you the information for free because we have a 30-minute call. If you want more, let me know. But it was their vice president of a large corporation. And after that conversation, he knew everything he had to do just in 30 minutes. And the information I gave him was worth tens of thousands of dollars because the money they're going to make over the course of the next several years, people would never think that a 30-minute conversation can be worth so much. But he's like, oh, that's what we're doing wrong? So I told him, you got the whole system figured out in Southern California. I said, why do the owners only want to stay there? Why don't they want to go to, Florida, Texas, this market? Because then you can get your whole target market in those areas. He's like, well, we don't have people there, licensed representative I said, well, why don't you get virtual licensed representatives? He goes, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. So like the littlest things, like we were opening up his mind. I was opening up his mind so much. He was taking notes, and I got off the call feeling good. And I said, listen, all I'm looking for is a referral of anybody who may be looking for my services. I said, if you go to a conference and you hear people talking, by all means, feel free to drop my name. And I said, if anything, I know I know that it's going to come back around because of karma, because I always try to do the right thing. I didn't even make any money on that conversation, but they're going to make so much from that conversation that it makes me feel good that I'm able to help them, so it was cool.
Right. Well, and so often we do close our minds to opportunities. Like I said at the beginning, I wasn't even collecting the emails. I mean, I was getting emails and stuff like that, and I never thought to put them in a hub somewhere and use them again. I just didn't think about that, which is totally crazy now I think about it. But it's like sometimes you just need a professional to kind of guide you a little bit, give you some ideas on certain things. That we're in marketing, it's moving and changing and shifting so quickly that we can't. And if we're in a particular field where we're good at what we do and we're not necessarily good in the marketing part, we do need someone to kind of help us through that.
Correct. So I do want to eventually try to do a rapid fire of do's and don'ts, because I know a lot of people came specifically for the do's and don'ts.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. We're going to have to take a break here real quick. But I tell you what, why don't we come back and we'll do a rapid fire. And then I'd like to get into the affiliating marketing, because that is like a huge thing. Everybody's talking to me about that. And I'd like to know a little bit more about that myself.
Absolutely.
So definitely would like to do that. So everyone, we want to make sure that you have the information to be able to get a hold of Marc, and let's make sure we put that up. So your email is mdp0513@gmail.com. And then again, his website is tmrevive, REVIVE.com. You want to make it easy on yourself? Go to goingboldmedia.com. His information is right there. He's one of our elites. And so we've got all of his information that you can connect with him that way. And we want to make sure that you do that. But again, his email. So just, shoot him an email and say, listen, I'd like to, pick your brain for a few minutes, and he'll get back to you on that. It's mdp0513@gmail.com. And then again, the website is tmrevive, REVIVE.com. So make sure you get a hold of him and let him know what your situation is, what you're looking for. And he does consulting, so he can help you in probably a very short period of time. Like you said, 30 minutes with one guy and change his whole, marketing world. So definitely get a hold of him and see what he can do for you. That would be of great help. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts. We're going to fire that out for you, and then talk about affiliate marketing, which is really hot right now. That's what a lot of people are talking about, wanting to do. How do we go about doing it and being successful? And we're going to try to wrap that up in our show today. So we are on the goingboldmedia.com. I am Cece Schatz. I have my good friend here, Joanne Weiland. You are listening to the Link to Expert Business Showcase. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we're enjoying being with you. So grab a cup of coffee or a drink, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Well, welcome back, you guys. Welcome back to GoingBoldMedia.com. And this is, of course, our wonderful show, Link to Experts. I'm so excited about our show here today because we are really talking about business, how to be successful. And, marketing is a true key to that. What would you say, Joanne?
I actually think it's one of the most important things, because if you don't marketing, you're usually not getting sales. So I'm so excited that Marc is back with us to share with us the do's and don'ts.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, the do's and don'ts. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of go into a little bit of rapid fire to make it fun, right? So do's in marketing, right? And I should say lead generation, because it's a little bit different. So what you want to do in lead generation is you got to find out, number one, who your target market is, right? Because if you don't know who you're targeting, right, then you won't know, what kind of message to send to them, which is the second piece, right? So find out who your ideal target market is. In other words, if you had a client sign up today, what do they look like before you even try to get them on board? That's who you got to reach out to. Number two is what are you saying to them? What kind of message do you want to say? What kind of call to action are you going to have, right? That's very, very important, because now you got the right person and you got the right message to them. And then also how are you going to do it, right? So are you going to do email? Are you going to do social media posts? Are you going to do SEO, ads, paid ads? There's tons of different ways. We can get into it in another call, but essentially it's three things, right? It's who are you targeting, your ideal client, what are you saying to them, and how are you doing it? Okay. And then it's just consistency. It almost has to be automated, all that. So that's something you could do on your own. If you have a small budget and you're trying to figure that out, you can do that on your own. Or if you have a lead generation company that can help you, then they can do that for you. You just have to be able to tell them this is an ideal client and this is the market, and the content we want to say. And then the lead gen company can tell you, well, this is how we do it. We're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And then they take it over from there. So, but another do is work with a pay-per-lead or a pay-per-call lead generation company, right? Do you need SEO? Yes, eventually. Do you need, what else? Like paid ads, where someone's going to say, well, pay me $3,000 a month, and then also pay for your Facebook ads, and then maybe you'll get leads, or maybe you won't. Who wants to take the risk? Just work with a company you can look it up on Google. It's called pay per lead or pay per call or performance marketing, and look up companies that are doing that. They do. I mean, every industry you can think of, from insurance to home services like contractors to lawyers. You name it. And we work in a lot of them too. But you can find a lot of companies that are willing to say, I will send you one lead or one call, and you will only pay for that lead or that call. That's a huge do in my book. Now that I know that, I'll never go back to paying people, thousands of dollars to do all this stuff and hoping I get a lead. Now, if you're advertising, that's good. That's good lead generation. Advertising, like going to a strategic partner. For example, if you're a mortgage professional and you go to a person who owns a big Facebook group and they're a realtor, that's great, right? The realtor has a huge Facebook group that has thousands and thousands of people, and you're a mortgage professional and you say, can I pay to advertise in your group? That's a huge do, right? Maybe a couple $100 to advertise in your group to all your thousands of people. You know, there's a lot of realtors who may need a mortgage professional that they can refer business to. So those are huge do's. Those are just a couple. Now, the don'ts, right? What do we got to be careful of, when it comes to lead generation? And we're going to talk about it. This is going to parlay into the affiliate marketing side, So affiliates, a lot of affiliates today, in my experience, we've worked with, hundreds of affiliates over the years, are what's over-promising and under-delivering, okay? It's gotten to a place where you don't know who to trust anymore. And it's sad. And people are doing it. The affiliates are doing it, not all of them, but there's a good handful, because it's easy money. It's easy to trick somebody. If you know the right words to say, you can say something that we're going to make it sound good, right? And then you're just going to burn them. So unfortunately, me, even as a lead generation company, have been burned because we have to vet them out. So what we like to do before we bring on an affiliate is ask certain questions to find out, are they going to be someone we can trust? Do they have the certain type of lead generation leads and content and marketing strategies that we need? How do we know they're telling the truth? We have a whole series of questions that my clients that I consult for, that I say, hey, you have to ask these questions when vetting them out. Or we can say, we already have vetted affiliates, we can just connect you with them right away. So the don'ts are, to that point, don't work with affiliates if they're not generating the leads in-house themselves. So what does that mean? Sometimes you may buy from someone, let's just say I'm a lead generation company, and you may buy from me, but really I'm not generating those leads with a team. I'm buying it from an affiliate. So if you're buying from a company like me, I'm saying, yes, we have those, but I'm buying it from somebody else. Now, you don't know if there's a lack of communication and quality control and the leads aren't good. And who knows if the person that I'm buying from is maybe not telling me the truth. Now you're one step removed from getting a lower price because I'm marking it up, but then also a quality lead. So be careful. Don't work with affiliates if they're not generating themselves in-house. You have to ask them, are you generating these leads yourself, or are you buying these from another partner? Mm-hmm. That's a very good question to ask. So another don't in lead generation, don't not follow up with your leads, right? So there's no other way to say that, double negative, right? You have to follow up with your leads. Will some leads be bad? Yes. Does that mean you have to keep calling them? No. You could put them on a drip email campaign, or you could put them on a text email automation campaign, and you just let it go. And you don't have to do the follow-up, but some tool should be following up for you if you can't do it personally yourself, or a VA or something like that, a virtual assistant. So those are some of the real quick do's and don'ts. Hopefully that was a little fun. And if you want more, I could tell you more. But
yeah, I was wondering, since you do consulting work, do you help the people that want to be affiliates on like what platforms might be better than others? Would that make sense to do that?
Absolutely. If there's affiliates who are just getting started, I'm assuming is what you mean, right? Yeah. And they're saying, I want to get started. What's the best way to go about it? I want to drive quality to my client from the get-go. I don't want them to get frustrated with me and leave me, because I generated bad quality. Help me. How do I figure that out? That's something that we do yep.
Yeah, because I think that's real important. I mean, you get a lot of, out there in my world, a lot of influencers, right? And so they want to do affiliate marketing for companies. And so, you want to make sure you go with you want to hang your hat with the right people, right?
Yeah.
So not only do you want to resonate with them on maybe the type of business they do, but you also want to know that their integrity is the same as yours, and that you are going to get paid for the work that you do. And that's important. That's important to do that.
Well, I like also the way Marc talked about the realtors and the mortgage companies.
Mm-hmm.
When you think it's also very important to have an affiliate that kind of is in your space that's kind of like complementary to what you do? Is that something that is valuable?
Absolutely. So there will be affiliates who specialize in one niche versus another. So that's one question you want to ask, right? An affiliate is, what verticals, what niche do you focus in? And then they'll tell you, oh, we mainly focus in, roofing or solar or windows, stuff for contractors, or we focus more on real estate, or we focus on insurance. So asking them that question will really prepare you to know they're not really doing what I want. So if I try to get them to go out of their comfort zone, they may not do that good of a job,
Right.
So it gets tricky at that point.
And maybe because a lot of our listeners might not really understand what an affiliate would be, could you give us like is the example
Sure.
more like a mortgage company?
Absolutely. So an affiliate equals like a media buyer. And what that means, which equals a person, say I'm an affiliate, I'm just a regular person with a small company that we go and buy advertisements on Facebook, and then we generate the leads that way for you. So really an affiliate is a smaller company that has really good understanding of how to generate leads on any platform that they're comfortable with, maybe Facebook, maybe Google, maybe email. So, but technically their purpose of an affiliate is to drive traffic, number one, to your website, or to get you leads that you only pay per lead or per call. That's the best way that I like to work with affiliates when you're looking for, quality lead generation and, most cost effective, I should say.
So then do they include you on, like when they buy these media packages, do they include your company with their company on the ads? Is that what you mean?
So they would be in the background and they act like as an extension of your company, but they don't put their company anywhere on the ads. It's only your company that's being represented. So when the people see the ad, then they're like, oh, this is so-and-so company. I think that's great. I need that right now. And they don't even know the affiliate exists.
Okay, so it's more like in your world, the affiliate is like a media buyer.
Correct. It's someone who will pay for the actual advertising for you and generate those leads from those advertisements to come to you or your website or to call you.
And then is that the case like you were talking about earlier, that they only pay for the quality leads?
Yeah, so that affiliates, there's some affiliates and some won't. So,
Okay.
It's 50-50, I guess.
Sure.
Some will say, yeah, only pay me when you get a lead. And some will say, no, you have to pay me up front. So you have to ask them those questions. And we help clients to understand the proper questions to ask and, what we figure are the do's, right, versus the don'ts. Usually in lead generation, knowing what I know now and being able to grow a company and be successful at it, I tell my customers, don't do that, do this. You're going to waste a lot of money, waste a lot of time. I'm here to kind of expedite your path. I'm going to show you what you should avoid and what's going to just stumble you up and what you are going to trip over and what's going to get you to your least path of resistance,
Well, that's wonderful, because that really, time is all we have. And if,
That's
we
right.
can learn from you, that's priceless. So thank you. And
Absolutely. And I always give free consultations too. So even if we don't, the first consultation consulting perspective is always tell me what you're looking to do. And then I can always give some tidbits of information. And sometimes people are like, you know what, I got it. Like, I don't need anything else. If I need something in the future, I'll come back to you. But, and some people are like, I don't really get it. Can you help me walk through it? And then I say, okay, let's set up a 1 hour Zoom. I'll walk you through step by step. And then we do that. So, but I mean, I'm very giving, in today's world where, I feel like you just got to give, and it'll come back one way or another,
Well, we appreciate that, because not everybody is. And Marc, we thank you so much for being on the show. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners before we have to close?
No, I just want to say, from my heart to yours, happy holidays to everybody. I'm a family man. I have 5 little kids, ages 6 to 13. Yep. So they're my world, and I hope everybody enjoys the holidays with their family and the new year. And we'll hopefully hear from somebody in the future. But if not, hopefully some people learn some information on lead generation. And I was happy to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Right. We're just so thankful to have you. I tell you what, this is information that a lot of it I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with. And I just marketing is so vital to your business. Any business out there, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, marketing is very, very important. And I think that we have to be open-minded as to what we need to do. And you gave us some terrific tips here today and some things that we shouldn't be doing so that we know better. And also it questions us to think maybe we need to get an expert like yourself to just at least talk with to get a plan in place of what we need to do. And of course, with any budget, I'm sure you can tailor your services to be designed as to whatever the budget is on that particular organization. So again, everyone, please email. It's mdp0513@gmail.com. Again, that's mdp0513@gmail.com. And then his new company, the website is TM Revive. It's tmrevive.com. Remember now, he took his business that he just recently sold, TradeMarc Global, from 0 to 5 million in just 3 years. So obviously he knows what he's doing. And so why don't you get on board and save yourself a lot of time and money and do it the right way? So, I mean, we can do a lot of mistakes, a lot of muck-ups when it comes to marketing. So why not know from an expert? And as you heard today, he is happy to talk to you, give you a free consultation, a little bit on the phone, try to determine where you need to go. And then you guys can put a plan together if you want to use the services or not use the services, but at least you got an idea of where you're going to go with your marketing. So again, his email is mdp0513@gmail.com, and the website is tmrevive.com. If you forget it, all you got to do is go to our platform, goingboldmedia.com, and he's right there on our elites. Click the elite button under his name, and all the information is there. We're going to revise that with his new information on his company, but you can definitely get a hold of him and learn from an expert. That's what our show is all about, right? Link to expert.
And thank you, Mark. I took 5 pages of notes, so I really
You're very welcome.
you sharing your insights with us. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, everyone, we got to run.
Thank you guys.
This is Link to Expert Business Showcase. I am Cece Schatz. I have my good friend Joanne Weiland with me. Just go to linktoexpert.com, check it out, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.